twang, 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 twang. Okay, so basically what I have is a sphere and I have a control curve. Okay, so always make sure when you're creating control curves, no matter what kind of rig it is, give a name to these control curves. So I'm going to double click and choose CC SPHER, or let's say CC ball. Okay, so this is going to be ball, BALL ball. There you go. So we have just two objects. All I'm going to do is I'm going to make this ball to be the child of this control curve. So I can either select this one and shift select this one and press B. That's one method. Or I can also select the same way and go to edit and choose parent here. Or I can also, if I just undo that step, I can also just click on this ball here and using the middle mouse button, click and drag, put it inside the ball. Okay, fine. So now if I select this guy, I have my pivot point here, so I can also move this to move the entire ball. So first keyframe, just for these two guys, key selected. Let's go to 15, move them forward here, and key selected for both. Let's go to the middle, somewhere here, pull it up. Okay. Okay, so this is the animation that we have for just 15 frames, and I want to repeat this animation over and over again. Okay, so let's go back to our graph editor here. Okay, so first I want to just change the y-axis so that it will basically make the changes. It will be more visible for us right in the same place. So if I select the translate y here, it's just going up and down. And if I go to curves, and there's two things. One is pre-infinity and the other one is post-infinity. Okay, so here we can choose different options. Either we want a cycle, or we want to have a cycle with offset, or you want to have oscillate or linear. Okay, so linear is the standard one, and this is basically deciding how this graph is going to act after it is crossed the last keyframe. Okay, so right now it is just going to be linear, meaning that from here this path will just go straight in the same line, meaning that it's going to have the same value till the end of the timeline. Okay, so if I choose cycle, it will basically change to an oscillating or repeating action. Okay, to see that, let me just undo that once. I'll go to choose here. Where's that, view and infinity. Okay, so you can see that it basically has a simple straight line. Now if I choose cycle, you'll see that whatever happens after this first keyframe is going to be the same, sorry, if after the last keyframe is going to be the same animation that we had before, and this will go on repeating forever. So if I just increase this length of the timeline, and I just go back, play here, you see, it's just going up and down and up and down because we have just animated the translate y, which is just going up and down. And this will keep on going as long as the timeline is there. There's no limit to this animation. So if you want an animation to happen repeatedly, meaning maybe you want a character to run for a long distance, okay, so you can use this. But in that entire shot, the character will do only this, because you cannot modify the animation after you have made this repeating action. Okay, so now that we have animated just the translate y, which is making him go up and down, but we want also to move forward, which is x-axis here. So let's say I'll go back here. Okay, and this time I want to choose the translate x. Okay, so in translate x also you will see it just starts from here, goes down, and then it just goes on forever. So watch what happens if I choose cycle here. So cycle will, what it is doing is it is starting from here, it goes down, and then it again starts back from the first frame, right? But let's see what actually happens. So if I just play this, you'll notice that it just repeats the same action again and again, right? It's just starting from the beginning, going to the end, and then again it starts from the beginning, again going to the end, then again starts from the beginning and going to the end, right? So this is not what we wanted. Let's try the second one, cycle with offset. So what this will do is it will make the change and it will make the last point as the starting point for the next animation sequence. And this is exactly what we wanted basically. So you will actually see that the motion trail shows you that it's starting from here, going here, and then keeps on moving forward. So if I just go back and play it, boom, boom, and then it keeps on going. Okay, so just making one jump, you can make him jump again and again as long as you want. Easy? And this even works for characters, but you need to be more careful about how you're actually placing your keyframes. Let's say, for example, you want to make the character to be a bit more fancy looking, right? Now, instead of just jumping, you want to have a little bit of animation here. We can do that just by using the scale tool. If it is just a simple character, you can make him stretch like that, and you can make him squash like that also. But when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you're not increasing the size of the character. So what you will do is when you stretch him, you should also make him squeeze like this. Okay, so two actions you will have to do when you're creating those kind of animation. Or you can simply create a blend shape and connect those blend shape to this control curve. So that way you can basically adjust it with the help of those blend shape controls. Okay, so now let's say, let me just go start from here. I want to move these keyframes a little bit further so that I can actually start some little animation here. So I am starting from frame number 8. Now, if you're wondering how I did that, I pressed Shift key and clicked and dragged to select all these keyframes. Okay, so Shift, click and drag to select all these keyframes. Then I can actually move it to 2 different places. Okay, I can also make it bigger and stuff. So before we start, I want to have a little pre-animation. We call it as preparation for the action. It is called anticipation in animation language. So I'm going to start from here. I'll press yes, or I can actually use the scale tool, scale keys, key selected. So frame number 1 till frame number 8, I want to make him smaller. So let me choose the scale tool and make him small like that. Okay. So I can also make him fat because I'm making it smaller. See, that kind of an animation. Then it goes up. When it is jumping, it needs to become stretched up. Okay, stretch it up, then make it squeeze like that. And I should actually do some rotation also. We'll do that later. So squeeze, jump, squeeze, jump. Okay, and then when it is landing, it needs to basically go back to its original shape. So let's say starting from here, just going up here. I think I'll just leave these guys just with the keyframe, the same pose. Then again, till here, it's basically going to have the same stretched out pose. So let me create a keyframe here once again. And then when it is touching down, I want it to land basically. So let me just give some 8 frames again here. And I don't want this post-infinity and pre-infinity, so I can actually go back here to these guys and select all of them. I want to make the post-infinity to be linear, so that's going to be straight. No animation will happen after that. So at frame number 28, I again want to make him flat. Okay, and stretch out. So you will see squeeze, jump, and then stretch out. And it's touching down, it's stretching out. Maybe this one can be a bit more closer. Boom. Boom. And then again, I can just make him go up. Stretch out, make it smaller. Maybe not that much, just a little bit. Okay, and then maybe I'll just bring it back to either its normal position, so that will be like 1 1 1 for all. So you'll basically see it, there's a little bounce there. Okay, so let's just play this back. Boom. Okay, I can also give a little rotation here because I've not added any rotation. So that's z-axis rotation. So frame number 1, let's just create a keyframe here. So let's go to 8. Okay, so at 8 I can actually make him rotate down like that. So not that much, maybe just a little bit. Let's say 10 units. Okay, when he goes here, I can actually make it rotate like that. Then when he comes here, I want him to be rotated in the opposite direction. So let's say jump, 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 and then land down like that. Then he's again going to flat out. Maybe I'll just rotate him like that. Then at here, let's just bring this back to 0. And again, it's going to be 0. So now if I just play this back. Now when you're playing back, if it is going really fast, that means you need to change your playback speed. So let's go here and scroll down to playback. By default, it will be like play every frame. So what you will basically end up with is like this. This is what you will see when you open it for the first time. You need to go here and change this to 24 FPS, hit save, and then you can basically play it back. Okay, so now this animation can be repeated. Now you see when we use this post infinity, it's actually going to take the last frame. So from frame number 30, it is going to repeat this animation. So if I go to graph editor, which we have here, okay, so you also need to make sure that all keyframes has the same total length. Okay, so this animation is just going to be here. So at frame number 30, we need to create a keyframe for all these guys. So let's say key selected, key select these two, key selected. Okay, so all of them should have a keyframe in the beginning and in the end. So let's go up here and make sure that these guys also has a keyframe in the frame number 1. So frame number 1 till frame number 30. Okay, so once that is done, let's just do this infinity thingy. Let me just bring this down. Let's choose curves, post infinity. For the, let's just do it one by one. So let's say for the translate X, it has to be cycle with offset because we want him to move further. So let's just play that back. I can increase this to maybe 150. Change that and then move forward. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. Let's just go back. For translate Y, it has to be cycle, so it just repeats that animation. Yep, let's just play that back. Okay, yes, perfect timing. And then for the rotate Z, I think this is also going to be cycle only, and this guy, everything else is going to be cycle only. Scale also cycle. PLC also cycle. Let's just try that. Boom, 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 boom. Yay! So that's exactly what we wanted. And keep in mind, this animation will keep on going for as long as you want, as long as you have the timeline. So let's say if I make this 100 and let's say 500 for example. Even if it is 1000, doesn't matter. As long as you have the timeline, it will keep on animating. Twang, 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 twang,